All right, music fans, welcome back. It is Dave, the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, and yours truly right here. Are the members of Journey bored out of their mind performing their current set list? That's the question of the video. I was wondering this last summer. There's only so much fake energy you can put into doing the same things over and over again, okay? And whether you want to call it the Dirty Dozen or how many songs that they do in a set list, there are very few surprises in this set list. I was fortunate enough to watch a video of Chain Reaction, and I think they threw that one in because Joe Elliott from Def Leppard said that was his favorite Journey song. And Ross Valerie, in the concert I watched, did this really goofy intro to it, but Ross has always been that way. But the fans were probably like, what's this? Where's Open Arms? Where's Don't Stop Believin'? Where's Faithfully? Where's Separate Ways? I mean, I don't know. Even the older stuff, I think I'm even though it's beat into the ground, I think I'd rather hear Any Way You Want It or Lights. I think those songs to me, because there's a classic rockness to them, and when you hit a certain stage, I'm not saying it was Frontiers, I'm not saying it was Escape. What I'm saying is it's repetitive. Frontiers has a lot of great album tracks that don't see the light of day. They just don't. Escape, too, has some good album tracks that don't actually do all that bad as far as putting them next to other songs in a set. Okay, whether it was Lay It Down or Mother Father, any of those songs I think would hold up well. And then, of course, even the Perry Raleigh era where they're both in the group, those 2 or 3 albums where barely anything gets played. I mean, Evolution, they play Any Way You Want It, right? And because it's been focus tested, and that's the one you got to play over and over again. Look, folks, the music has been around now for quite a long time, and people have access to it. They can listen to it. And it's just weird how radio has pretty much collaborated with everybody who does focus testing. And really, one goes with the other, because radio has created the pool of songs that you're supposed to listen to. And then the focus testers, people from Irv Azof's office come down, they sit with the band for 5 minutes, and they devise a set list. Okay, these are the ones you're going to play. Okay, you want your blah, blah, blah millions of dollars, how many they're going to get this year, this is what you're going to do. And the band just nods and says, okay. And that's what they do for the most part. I know you can take some liberties on stage with how you play the song, possibly. People are upset because they're extended guitar solos and keyboard solos that Jonathan Cain, knock it off. People are like, just play the hits. We don't need a 20-minute intro to Faithfully and a story to go along with it. And okay, yeah, I could probably go with some of that, because I think what happens is you do get ADD and you want to just have them play the song. But for me, I'd like to hear them play a different song, all right? Because they've been playing these songs, and that's why a lot of people like going to see jam bands and things like that. I talked about that yesterday. Like The Dead and Company are on tour. You don't know what their set list is going to be on any given night. They just mix it up and change it, and people are there because they're there for the music. Now, you may say, well, Dave, that's a cultural experience, the Grateful Dead. Yeah, it's a cultural experience to go see all the people in the tie-dye and all of that stuff. But it's also a very musical experience, because you have very improvisational guitar work. It's just a different thing. It's not like, neatly put in a box. Unless it's a box of rain, and then it's a Grateful Dead song. Sorry, I had to throw that in. So my point here with this video is if you watch Neal Schon, if you watch Jonathan Cain, if you watch Ross Valory, and if you watch Steve Smith, who at times looks like he'd rather be jazzing it up somewhere. And last year he looked the same way. I think the first couple of concerts, they were a little more animated, but they're starting to settle in. They're starting to understand this is going to be a very long tour of playing these songs over and over again. And can we do it? Or is this like Chinese water torture? Eventually, are we just not going to be able to do this? And I think they're going to do it because, you know, they're going to get paid, or they've already gotten paid. So they're going to do it. But for fans like me, you know, boredom sets in. I'd like to hear something different. I know there are a lot of people going to these shows that would not like to hear anything different. And I think that's what personally I think is a tragedy, but it's the day and age we live in. And Journey has quite a catalog. Why not dip into it a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm done with this video. Do you think Journey looks bored out of their mind playing these songs? Possibly Def Leppard too, but especially Journey? I do. That's my opinion. All right, I'm done. I'll be back. Don't forget to help me out on Patreon if you haven't subscribed. I'm only looking for $1 a month because that's the lowest amount that you can donate, and I figure I'm probably only worth $1 a month, but it helps the channel. The channel's been struggling a little bit the last few weeks. I think you know, people aren't tuning in as much. They got other things they got to do. Summer is just about here, so people are out having fun. And, you know, you can take me along on your portable device, and that's a little scary. But anyway, think about it. If you can help me out, again, it's only $1 a month. And this is going to be a long summer as far as Journey and other bands go, so there'll be some interesting developments, I'm sure. All right, that's it. I'll be back with more soon. Stay tuned.